Hey guys, in this segment I wanted to go over why it's important to normal summon your rabbit in games 2 and 3 instead of going for the Magician Shark combo, assuming that you drew all three of these. So let's say that you didn't go for it. You know, you had these three in your opening and you're like, oh look, I have Magician and Shark, that means I should do that. And you ignore your rabbit. So then you normal summon Magician and you reveal Shark. Let's say they have Max C, which is, you know, really the worst case scenario in this. So then they chain Max C, and you special summon Shark, and they get to draw a card. But now you have Shark and Magician on the field, and they're not defended. And it really kind of sucks, because, you know, if you go into rank 4, then they're going to get to draw a card. And if you use Magician's effect, they get to draw a card anyway. And in either case, you really need to do one of them. You either need to go into rank 4, or you need to use Magician's effect to get a rabbit. Because if you just leave these on the field, they're just going to kill them, most likely, and then you're not going to have anything. And it really depends on what you're playing against. If you're playing against Mermails or Dark World or something that a rank 4 actually does something against, like Abyss Dweller, then you might want to just go into rank 4 summon Abyss Dweller so that you can shut down their plays. But against most decks, you know, what are you going to go into? Utopia? You could go into Cowboy, I guess. But usually saving one of your cards is going to be better so you can make a play next turn. So you would generally use Magician's effect and go search out a wind-up rabbit, and then end your turn. And then during their turn, you would use Rabbit's effect to banish one of your three, depending on whatever you have in your hand, so that you can save it. So let's say you have a Shark in your hand, you would probably banish Magician, and then they might kill these, and then Magician comes back, and now you can normal summon Shark and do some stuff. But it really depends on what you have in your hand as to what you're going to save. And it just kind of sucks because they +2 on you. You special summon Shark and they draw one, and then you special summon Rat and they draw another one. So they start their game with 7 cards, which is not good. They're just more likely to have the combo that their deck does, or they have more resources than they should have. So this isn't good, or at least not as good as it could be if you had normal summon Rabbit. So let's say they had Effect Power. So you'd normal summon Magician, reveal Shark, special Shark, the Effect Power Magician. This isn't nearly as bad because you can just overlay and they don't get a +1 off it, but it still kind of sucks compared to if you had a Rabbit on the field, and you'll see why. But in this case you just overlay, and if you have Cowboy in your extra deck, just go into Cowboy and burn them for 8. And if you don't run Cowboy, which it's a really good card, just go into, I guess you could go into Utopia, or you could go into My Stroke and Defense, something like that. But, in this case, at least they don't, start their hand off with 7 cards. But it's still not as good as it could be. So that's what happens when you don't summon Rabbit and they have that Maxi or that Effect Power. So let's say you did summon Rabbit though. So turn 1, you're just like normal summon Rabbit, you end your turn. And obviously, if they try to kill it, you're going to banish it and it'll come back. So now it's your turn again. Your turn 2. So now you normal summon Magician, and you reveal the Shark. And they're going to be like Maxi, just like they would have done before if you had normal summon Rabbit first. So then you special summon Shark, and they draw a card. But this time it's a lot different. You already have a Rabbit on the field, and you haven't used your Magician to go get that Rabbit. So now they draw 1. So the Maxi just got 1 card for itself. It replaced itself, and then you can end your turn. And so now it's their turn, and then you can use Rabbit's effect either on Shark or on itself. Let's say you use it on Shark. So you're like your turn, and then you're like, okay, Rabbit effect on Shark. Shark goes over here. You're like Magician effect, and Maxi is no longer active. They would have to play another Maxi this turn. So you're still getting to use your Magician. You can go get a second Rabbit, and then use this Rabbit's effect to banish Magician. And now you have Magician and Shark coming back during your next turn. So you're going to get to make your play next turn, unless they have another Maxi. And if they have another Maxi, you can just kind of bait that out again. But this kind of made them waste their Maxi. They didn't get much plus off of it, and you still maintained your resources. And and they might kill these. They might not kill these. They might only be able to kill 1. And then you can use this to exceed with. But in either case, this is a much better play for you if they have Maxi than letting them start their hand with 7 cards and not saving as much resources as you did in this play. So that's if they have Max C and you did normal summon Rabbit. And let's look at if they have Effect Veiler and you normal summon Rabbit first. So now you're turn 2, normal summon Magician, reveal Shark, special summon Shark, and then they're like, Effect Veiler Magician. And you're like, you know what, that's fine because I have a Rabbit on the field, so I can rank my Shark down. Go get my Zenmaity Carrier. Use the Carrier, detach the Rabbit. Okay, it's going to be important. So Rabbit's going to go get you a rat. Use the rat effect to special summon the Rabbit. You use the Rabbit effect on Magician. Now you're saving your Magician, and then you can overlay these into, you know, maybe Zenmaines, or maybe you can go into Giga Brilliant. Just kind of depends on what you're feeling. I mean, Giga Brilliant's going to make your Carrier a little bit harder to kill because it makes them 1800 attack, which is kind of hard to run over. And, you know, Zenmaines is just kind of more of a defensive, solid play. Like, you know, they can't Dark Hole you kind of thing. So, you know, either one of those are good. And you got to save your Magician that's going to come back later. Then you might have something in your hand to keep going, you know, or whatever the case might be. But this is again, better when they Effect Veiler you because you can keep going and make more plays. So anyway, that's the reason why you want to normal summon your Rabbit first. Turn 1. Whenever you're in game 2 or 3, whenever people tend to side in their Maxis and Effect Veilers, or maybe they just side in one of them. But it definitely does make a stronger play if they do have that. And you kind of shift your way around their hand traps. So anyway, I hope you learned something, and thanks for watching.